Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Haessler. The other voices you hear are the Doctrinaires. Man of 1,000 voices, Tim Andrews. Autumn Fisher has the day off. Corona, I believe. We have our fingers crossed for her. But we do have with us, of course, the handsomest producer in all of producery, Jared Yamamoto.
And I'm doing the show with my surgical mask on to protect myself from Autumn.
Well, thank you for protecting yourself, but apparently the surgical masks do not work.
Oh.
They make you sick because they collect microbes.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. You have to have the ones that have that, they're white, and they've got that thing on the outside, that plastic cap.
That's right.
It's not a full-on gas mask, but it has a little bit of that look. Those are the only masks that work. The rest is all for show. China has everybody putting them on because here's the deal. Most people aren't going to get it or die from it, so you might as well have a show to make most people feel comfortable. But the fact is, the results are in, full stop. The surgical mask will not protect you from coronavirus. Sorry to burst your bubble this early. I mean, after all, we got a new case in America. It's up to 12. You know, we only have 330 million people in this country. We have 12 cases. Call in sick. Freak out. Batten down the hatches. I would say just do what you can. You know, hide under your bed. Just stay there.
They can't get me down there.
Yeah, nothing can get you down there.
Not the monsters, not the coronavirus.
If it don't kill the cat.
Hey. That's a good reason to have animals.
Yeah. It's like canary in a coal mine.
Yeah.
My cat's down there. It seems to live all just fine. And it's probably good. No rodents down there if the cat's down there.
You think we'll eventually see in this country those trucks going down the street spraying all that stuff like in China?
Yeah, maybe.
Bleach.
I don't even think there's anything in those trucks. I think it's all just a show.
Yeah.
Hey, we're doing something. Fact is, most of you won't get her to die from it, but we're doing something. So hopefully we can get this show in. What are we on? 3 hours on the radio? 30 minutes on a podcast, and hopefully we can get that 3.5 hours in before we're all dead from coronavirus. We'll do the best I can. If it is our last show, actually, I feel very good. This is I don't know how to put this because this is a family-friendly show, and I would never do anything. My bosses here are very good. They don't tell me what I have to talk about. They just say, Eric, protect the shield. What do they mean? Don't lose the FCC license. It's a family-friendly show. You know, be good with your innuendo and things like that. What's that?
Double entendre.
That's it. Both of them. Double entendres. But don't say things explicitly that will. But this is clinical. This is real. I feel really good this morning because, I told you I went and got a CT scan last week. And then I went to the doctor and got he went over it with me. And basically I'm doing fine, but he said, you're full of poo. And I said, well, I've been told that. People use the P word, usually use the S word. But I've been told that since I was about 8 years old. My mom used to call me S for brains. You can't be more full of it than if it hits you in the head. So he gave me a pill. And I got to tell you, man, it's a life changer. It's a life changer. I feel so good and light and free.
What's this pill called?
Got 7,000 steps. I said, hey, it's not going to make me explode at work or anything. He said, no, nothing like that. But, I wonder how many people, as I get older, the old double nickel, 55 years of age, I realize, you got to live within your time frame, When you're 55, you can't act like you're 35. Tim Andrews, I'm looking at you.
I'm not 55.
When you're 49, you can't act like you're 35. But, you got to start thinking about things that are important. You can get away with stuff when you're in your 20s and 30s. But when you're 55 years of age, first thing you got to think about is digestive system. Because if you got that thing working for you, I think you're a whole heck of a lot better off. The digestive, really, as my friend Greg Russ, who'll be on later, told me years and years ago, he said, Eric, the human body is just a whole bunch of stuff, whole bunch of meat and stuff wrapped around one tube. Goes from your mouth to the other end. That's really what you are. You're a tube with a bunch of stuff around it and appendages. You got to take care of that tube. So I feel great this morning because what was the pill, Alan? I mean, I could tell. I don't know. I got it in my. I'll tell you in a moment. I have
Fiber?
No, because I was taking the fiber.
Okay.
This is, gets in there. Apparently, now I know if people are taking, if you're eating your breakfast, you don't want to hear this, but I always thought of constipation as a thing when you're sitting down. But it can be way up there. You don't even know it. Yeah, it's not just that. It can be way up there. He showed it to me. He showed me a moving thing of my CT scan. You're full of... I've been told that my whole life. And now I'm being diagnosed with it. So it's important, kids, if you're in my age frame. Of course, I want the advertisers to know that most of our listeners are not 55. Of course, they're 25 to 54.
Yeah, that's right.
This is more of a warning.
Yeah.
It's more of a warning to people. Get your digestive system in tune because it really it affects everything else. I think that's a good thing, right? These are, I'm always told, these are the public airwaves. We have to be here to do good for the public. So put that down in our little book for what we give to the government every month. Eric von Haessler gave people advice about getting their digestive systems in tune.
Relieve yourself of the pee.
Not the pee. Oh, the pee. Well, yeah, of the poo. We can say poo.
Or both.
Say poo.
Say 1 and 2.
You want to be as empty as you possibly can be at all times. Sure. I think that's an important thing. So, I had this thought. It has nothing to do with anything. But have you seen all these commercials lately? I think it's about psoriasis. And there's always like some song that's like, hey, I'm free, because I'm not wearing sleeves. And I imagine that would feel very freeing if you have this stuff on your skin and if you get a drug that...
you're not wearing a jean jacket at the lunch with your girlfriends.
Yeah, exactly. You can,
like
Cyndi Lauper, she can appear any way she wants on stage.
Right, now I can finally do everything I want.
And I don't know if it's the Cyndi Lauper one. I have a feeling it's the other one where they're driving down the road and the lady has her hands out the top of the car.
To do what I want.
It's kind of something like that. And but there's a very funny thing. You know how at all these drug commercials, at the end they tell you all the warnings.
Might kill you.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes
arms might fall off.
Sometimes it's like there's death. Sometimes, wow, that seems harsh. Death. But this one,
don't take it if you're allergic to death.
I don't know what it is, but in this one, it's let's just call it Trufista. They all have true in it. I don't know.
Trufista. Do you know where I can get that?
But it's the warning at the end. You kind of beat me to the punch there. The warning at the end of the let's just call it Trufista is don't take Trufista if you're allergic to Trufista. Doesn't that apply to everything in the world? Why don't you eat apples, Jared?
Well, because I'll die.
You're allergic to apples.
Yeah.
I mean, are we really this dumb? Do the lawyers have to step in? We're really this dumb that people have to be warned. If you've been told that you are allergic to this drug, don't take this drug.
And you don't know until you take it.
Well, no, you would know. I mean, you would know from something else. Why would you even warn people?
Yeah.
Unless somebody had been told. All right. I'm no longer full of it. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Headlines for Tuesday, February 11th.
Try it out.
I mean, I didn't put it in the pipe. Don't worry about it.
I hope not.
Yeah. This is a family-friendly show. I call it family-centric. You know what? I've even dialed it even leaner than that. It's nuclear family-centric.
Nuclear family's canceled, my friend.
I'll
show you that article.
No, I'm reading that article.
Yeah.
You know what? So that guy David Brooks, I think he used to be a Republican. He converted years ago, and I'm noticing lately is the headlines that a story like that gets is way more incendiary than the actual story.
Oh yeah,
I saw that. Is it time to leave the nuclear family behind? And my first reaction was, what's going on? I'm going to go on tomorrow. What is happening in America? Because I love my nuclear family. I came from a family that was rather chaotic, and the one that we put together, I'm very proud. I'm very happy with it, and I think my kids are happy with it. But once you it's a very long article, and when you read the article, it's much more interesting and nuanced than the headline is. So I've only gotten about halfway through. The new drug had kicked in, and that's about all the time I had to read at that point. So I'm only halfway through it, but it was much more interesting and nuance than the headline, "Is it time to get rid of the nuclear family?" Which is, I guess you don't read it unless you get clickable type of thing.
Which you clicked it.
I looked at it because I thought, I'm going to get mad about this tomorrow on the radio. And then I read most of it. I'm like, oh, no, this is fine.
Yeah, I got angry, and then I started reading it. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's making good points.
Yes.
But it's just everything has to be sensational to get you to click it.
And he got rid of his nuclear family and got a younger one.
Is that what he did? This David Brooks?
Yeah.
Isn't that what everybody does?
I guess.
Except for me. Is it time for me to get rid of my family
you
and
like
just go
your
get
family.
it?
No.
See, here's the problem. See, what happens is people don't realize that moments pass, right? And so you get like in your mid-50s, you're like, I don't know. I want to, that 35-year-old at work, she gets me. My wife doesn't get me anymore. So you tear your whole life apart, right? I'm getting a divorce. I'll just have to tell the kids. And this is my new life at 56 years old. And then a week later, the doctor tells you, you've got cancer, but get your stuff together, right? I mean, right? And then, I just jettisoned everything. And she's probably not going to stick around with some guy who's going to be dead in 4 months. It's just, don't be a prisoner of the moment.
I like that.
You got the pros, for me anyway, outweigh the cons. There are cons. After 32 years of being in the same relationship, certainly there are cons. And if you talk to my wife, her list might be longer than mine. But you can't forget. You got what you have, shared experiences. Is Christina the longest person you've been with, Jared?
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
What is that?
Thinking about that. 4
years or something?
I think we're, about 4.5 years.
Not when you were dating a bunch of people and Christina was one of them. I mean, since she was exclusively...
4.5.
Okay, 4.5 years.
That's a long time.
So, no, it's not. But what I'm saying is, in those 4.5 years, there are experiences, shared memories, something that you can talk about. There's only one person in the last 4.5 years who was witness to as many things as you were together. And so as you get along, 25, 30 years, 32 years, you get tired of each other, and you basically decamp to different parts of the home so you can get away from each other quite often. But the other side of it is there's no one else for 32 years that I can go, hey, remember that time? And yeah. Blah, blah, blah. It's very valuable. Plus, if I get diagnosed with cancer, she's going to be very nice to me. That's important. I want people around me on my deathbed that love me, looking down at me, saying, hey, you did okay. You weren't perfect. My new mistress at 60 is not going to provide that.
Get your daily dose of comic relief with Eric Von Haessler mornings at 9. Then shake off the daily stress. And it's gonna be all right. With Mark Aram weeknights at 6 on 95.5 WSB.
New Hampshire's today. What do you got? This was one of the every 4 years. We talk. What is it? Notchville Dicks or Dixville Notch or what? I don't know.
Well, just to be safe, Eric, we'll have this read it for us.
Dixville Notch.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been at Dixville. I've never been at Notch. It's a great diner in Dixville.
But in
Dixville, Pennsylvania.
In a surprising
great place.
Every time I'm there, Liz Warren walks through and annoys everyone while they're trying to eat.
Great nightlife. Dixville.
But in a surprising twist, though, Mike Bloomberg actually won.
You know what? Now I wish I had an alarm because do you have that open mic? Or this guy is very upset with us for this happens quite often with our wonderful, lovely, fantastic. Did I say wonderful? Listeners.
You did.
Sometimes they get mad at us for reporting the news.
5 votes cast, and you already have a for Michael Bloomberg. You guys are really going for that Michael Bloomberg advertisement money.
That's right.
Don't worry about selling out the nation.
Yeah. You know what's so great is that Republicans are now as snarky as Democrats. Everything is perfect, and there are 0 adults in the room. That's nice to know. Everybody's got an eye roll. Hey,
Part of my plan.
Michael
I'm Mike Blum.
Are you Mike Blum?
I'm Mike Blum. I'm Mike Blum.
You're Mike Blum.
I'm Mike Blum. I'm Mike Big Gulp.
Just a little lesson. Hey, Clyde Cliverson, my radio guru / consultant.
Yeah.
Permission to tear away the tinsel.
Oh, yeah.
Let people see what's going on.
You think?
I can bleep it if you need me to.
Get the dump ready. Get the dump ready.
Okay, we'll dump it.
Everybody in radio
Oh,
is very happy about the Mike Bloomberg campaign.
all right.
Let me just say this. Nobody has to do anything for the Mike Bloomberg money. Mike Bloomberg is walking down every main street of America and throwing money at media outlets. It's as if he might as well just have a dump truck full of money that just comes once a week and dumps all over, not only this station, but every station in this city and every other, I would say the top 35, but maybe even smaller than that. Mike Bloomberg has $70 billion. Mike Bloomberg has already spent, probably almost, certainly hundreds of millions of dollars at this point. That's his strategy. We don't have to do I can make fun of Mike Bloomberg. You're
Mike Bloomberg.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna do things.
I'm gonna do things.
If we elect
if you vote for Michael Bloomberg, I will do things.
You're gonna do things.
Yes.
Let me just tell you this. We could say, I could come out here every day and say, ladies and gentlemen, for the love of the nation, do not vote for Mike Bloomberg, and we would still get the same amount of money. So stop getting angry at us reporting the news. Up there in Dixville.
Dixville Notch.
Yeah. He was afraid to say it.
I like Dixville Notch.
That's what I heard.
I'm Mike Bloomberg. They like money.
And I guess the story there, because Dixville Knox has like 8 people who live there or something like that. And so it's a big thing every year. Jared's 30 years old, and this is the first time he's heard of them. But this is a ritual every year. It doesn't matter which side is contested, if it's Democrat or Republicans or both sides. So, and also in New Hampshire, it's an open primary. So you walk in, you vote so everybody's on the ballot. Trump, if Bill Weld is still up there, I don't know. Everybody's on the ballot. And so they'll say, well, there's 2 votes for this person. How many did Mike Bloomberg?
So of the people that chose the Democrat side, he got 2 of the 5.
And by the way, that the reason that is something is because you had to write him in.
Right. And then on the Republican side, he was written in for the 1 Republican voter that voted
so he
on
got
that side.
3.
So he got 3 total.
Well, there you go, WSB.
5 votes cast, and you already have a for Michael Bloomberg. You guys are really going for that Michael Bloomberg advertisement money.
I can see through you guys.
Don't worry about selling out the nation.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Hey, I know you think that we're just stupid people out here. No, yeah, you got a smart one here. I can see through what you're doing.
Know your listener.
All right, everybody back
That's
up.
right. Know your listener.
That's right. We'll get to that. Was the rally last night?
Yeah.
I am going to go out on a limb and say probably the first president who's ever said, You know, they don't tell you about that place where they vote at midnight in New Hampshire, Dixville. A lot of jerks live there. All right, let's do this.
Dixville Notch.
Tech Tuesday with Greg Rudd.
There he is. Mr. Sunshine. That's what I'm calling him these days. Mr. Sunshine. Greg Russ. How are you? How are you?
The rays shoot out of my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that life. Look at that brightness.
You know, it's interesting.
Look at that soul. That inspires me just looking at that man's face.
Yeah. Some people think it's rage that fires out of your eyes, but no, it's rays.
Yes.
Rays of sunshine. What's happening in the technological world?
I am an inspiration, I would like to say. I'm starting a tour where I don't even go speak. I just go walk on stage, and people pay a lot of money for this. I walk on stage, I walk off, people leave better.
I think that is fantastic. Is this your new, are you going to be a life coach or something like that? Like the new, what's his name? Anthony Robbins or whatever? Tony Robbins? Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah. That big guy's like 7 feet tall.
Oh, yeah. Just all you got to do is believe.
He bullies people into having better lives.
Stop being a baby. What makes him the authority? This is
because he used to be fat.
People. Okay.
Is that it? Hey, look, that Subway guy used to be fat, and he's in jail for things we don't even want to bring up on a family show. So that isn't just losing weight isn't necessarily morally good.
I look at people like that. It's like, how do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know
They
more
don't.
than I do?
They don't.
I know that.
They
but
don't. There was this
people
guy.
buy into it.
Before you were born, I like to have friends. I can say that too. Greg and I are very good friends. I can say, before you were born on PBS, there was this guy. His name was Leo Biscaglia. Big, he looked like Pavarotti or something. Not quite that big, but he had that look. And it was all about love. And he would talk about how to live a better life and how to, he would sweat like crazy up there and tell you. And he was actually somewhat inspirational, but he didn't look like the happiest dude in the world to me. He couldn't even control his weight.
Who's happy at any size?
Look at him. You look him up.
My God.
Leo
I remember that
Biscaglia?
face.
Dr. Love?
Dr. Love. Yeah, I don't know. You find out these things that people, they're human, but they figure out a way to make a living. You know what would make me happy? If I could make a living doing nothing but telling other people how to be happy.
Oh, what a great job.
That's all you got to do is show up and go, look, you're doing it wrong. Take a walk, smell the roses, all that kind of nonsense.
You don't want to end up like Jordan Peterson, though.
Oh, no, but he didn't. Yeah, he was a little bit different.
Hey, clean your room.
Do you know who Jordan Peterson is, Greg?
I can't say that I do.
He's a guy that gets in trouble because he's supposedly all right wing. He's really not. He's just basically
Canadian psychiatrist.
Yeah, but he's part of this whole tour of people that were not PC, and so. It turns out what happened. He turned out that he was hooked on opioids.
Benzos.
What's that?
Xanax. Benzodiazepam.
That's not an opioid.
No.
I don't know. No. Well, the expert
For
here.
anxiety.
Yeah.
It's instant.
He was
anxiety.
gobbling Xanax.
Right, because why? Because all these people hated him online? I don't know.
His wife was ill, I believe, and his daughter's off doing her weird thing where she's only eating meat.
Oh, okay.
They're a weird family.
All right, and so he went to Russia to kick the benzos.
Right.
And they put him in a coma.
That's how Russia treats addiction. They put you in a coma until it wears off.
You don't deal with the withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that benzo withdrawal is bad.
Yes.
But then he woke up, and what? He's like, now he couldn't talk, he couldn't think, he couldn't breathe. This guy was just recently here a couple of years ago at the Fox Theater.
Make sure you keep your room cleaned.
Telling people, basically, drink a glass of water every day and, making money out of it. Anyway, do you know that the benzo, did you have to come off the benzo, Greg? I know you've been hooked on a few things in your time.
No.
I've never taken Xanax in my life.
Never once?
No.
Sorry, Greg.
Well, I was going to say, the few times I've taken it, just knocks me out.
Is it because I
sleep immediately and they'll sleep for 15 hours?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Because, I have to, that might be a good idea for me because I'm already scared that later this year I have to get on a plane and fly over the Atlantic.
Take a half of one, like a 0.5, you'll be fine.
Be fine? I just go to sleep? But then again, if something does happen on the plane, I want to be awake enough to be able to do something about it.
To be scared?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
No. It's out of your control at that point, so just skip the
all right. Well, my wife might want me to be awake to say, hey, we're together.
Yeah, I love
you. All right, what's going on in the world of technology?
Well, this is kind of technology. It ties into social media. It's maybe a stretch, but the Broom Challenge is going viral, Eric. The Broom Challenge. You know what the Broom Challenge is? I know what the Broom Challenge is, and I'm not even on social media. I wish I didn't know what the Broom Challenge is.
Yeah.
But apparently, the gravitational pull is just right, says NASA. So therefore, you can stand your broom straight up it'll stand on its own. And, this ties into the vernal equinox, which isn't even until March 19th.
Yeah, so it doesn't tie into the vernal equinox. Apparently, you can do this. People are doing it now. It's not the vernal equinox.
This is the thing. They're putting it out there. I think a lot of people are in on it. They know it's a lie. They think it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's so layered.
Yeah.
In the sense that it gets me angry. The vernal equinox is the biggest part. It's like, if you're just going to go along with this stupid thing, I don't think it's fun. But if you think it's fun, who am I to say don't have fun with it? But don't say it's because of the vernal equinox.
Yeah. Actually, I'll do you one better. I'll say I want to yell at you if you think it's fun. It's not necessarily this Broom Challenge, but it's just I'm so sick and tired of the latest viral challenge. Are people really that boring? Here I am. It's the challenge. It's going around. Here I am. I'm doing it. I'm that guy. I'm doing the challenge. Next month, when it's another challenge, I'm that guy. I'll be doing that challenge. Are you really that boring?
But Ellen did it.
Oh, and she's fantastic. So I hear.
Well, what is this thing? What is this? You stand it up, and because the earth spins, and it'll fall.
No, it could just stand on its own because the bristles on a broom are rigid enough.
The gravity is centered.
There's nothing
right.
to do. This is what what they're saying. Oh, the gravity right now is matching up perfectly. This won't last forever, so you got to take advantage of it now.
But that's not true.
No.
You do it with a push broom, and I'll be I'll be impressed.
Yeah, the gravity's just right to jump off that cliff.
Yeah, hey, make sure you take a selfie before you take the jump.
Look at me.
There's something about this whole virus. It's every time there's a new challenge, it's reported like, oh, and this is gonna knock your socks off. You know the one I liked. What I think was the first one, maybe it wasn't the first one. The Harlem Shake. I thought that was cool. It was fun. It was weird. It was bizarre. It was almost avant-garde, but everybody got it. And then I've not been impressed by any other thing like this on social media.
Well, you haven't gone viral on TikTok. That's why. If you go viral on TikTok with the latest viral challenge, then you've done it. You've made it.
I don't even understand the world anymore because half the news is about how you're supposed to avoid going viral, and the other half is challenges to go viral.
That's the challenge. Don't get coronavirus.
This is my challenge. I'm part of that challenge.
Yeah.
I do not yet have the coronavirus. How about you, Greg? Have you suffered from the coronavirus?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with the corona. I'm sure you've talked about this already, so I'm not pointing out anything new. But people are freaking out about this. The flu kills so many people in a year.
Yeah, I know.
A lot more than the coronavirus so far.
I saw numbers on how many people have been killed by the flu in America this year. I can't remember what it was, but it was a big number.
Like 30,000, isn't it?
I don't know. I remember it was a big number, and I don't want to put out false information, but it was a large number. And there's a big news story today. We have our 12th case of coronavirus. And for context, I think that we should always add the other part of that sentence, in a country of 330 million people.
Well, yeah, and a world of 7.5 billion people. And look, if 300-something people died, that's
awful. But
yes, that's a bad thing.
But you know what they never do, Greg? They don't break things down. Like if you tell me that so many people have died from coronavirus, I think it's important to break it down. How many are senior citizens and infants? That's number one. How if this is killing a lot of 35-year-olds, it's like when I drive home. Yesterday I saw it again. Drive home, and whenever there's those traffic safety signs over the highway. And whenever they want to nag you about stuff when they don't have actual information. And so it said, like, traffic fatalities, 103 this year already. But it's like, well, drill down to that number. If somebody's driving to work and they have a heart attack, is that considered a traffic fatality? Like, I want to know, what is the real number of people who were driving recklessly or victims of someone driving recklessly? Those are the fatalities that I think are real. Yes.
That one doesn't bother me as much if you want to scare people into being safer drivers by posting that number.
It's not working.
Well, if you want to. But what's the point of scaring people about the coronavirus?
Yeah.
To get ratings.
Well, it's as I said today, and it's you can find the information. You have to scratch the surface, but those surgical masks will not help. Zero, they will not help. And people are walking around wearing these surgical masks. There is a kind of mask. Like if you pull up stories about that cruise ship that is docked off of Japan, where they have everything, they're wearing official mask. The only mask that helps has this kind of plastic thing on the front. It's not quite a gas mask, but it's a surgical mask that's thicker and it has a plastic thing on front. The regular surgical mask, it does no good. It's just a con job that the Chinese government does because they realize most people won't get it. Most people won't die from it, but make them think we're doing something. So we're handing out these surgical masks.
This ties into the next tech story I have. China has launched a coronavirus app to detect whether users have come in close contact with the sick. This is tracking people.
Yes.
It's a mobile app that's tracking people, and then it alerts them if they've been in close contact with someone who's infected.
When you are one state government, you use every single possible issue you can to get more information about your people and what they're doing. So no one's going to be opposed to this because ostensibly, well, they're trying to make sure that other people don't get sick, but they're also getting a whole lot of information about who you are, and everybody's going to download it because nobody wants to get sick. This is something else. I don't think that I'm going to get the coronavirus. Now, if I do get it, that'll be a comeuppance. That'll be a comeuppance. A comeuppance.
If you do get it, there's also a good chance you survive if you get the treatment immediately. If you get sick and you go get it checked out and they say you have this and they catch it, then you're probably going to live. You're in decent health.
Well, you look at China. I know we're off on this thing, but it's interesting to me. You look at China, the doctor who back in November, now this guy looked to be about in his late 30s, early 40s, the doctor who initially alerted people on social media, he had seen some cases in November and December and said, this is new, this is different, and we need to be worried about this. And so the government, Chinese government, who, by the way, will never be what they want to be until they have freedom. And this is a great example. Rather than getting in touch with him, what do you know? What can we do? They arrested him. They made him write a letter saying I was being exploited and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, all of their energy as a government was put on shutting this guy up. Right? Because we don't want anything that could lead to another Tiananmen. Shutting this guy up rather than all of that energy in November and December figuring out what was going on and quarantining people then where you could have saved lives. So that guy was, 41, 42, and he died, but, probably was having to deal with the police department more than actually taking care of his health early on. And that's if anybody wondered, my stand on one-party government, well, you just got it. Greg Russ, I'm against it. I don't think it works. Yeah, it's true. Donald Fagen didn't sing any of those songs on the first Steely Dan album.
David Palmer sang that song.
Yeah, he was afraid to sing. Anyway, we have Greg Russ here. We're not talking about it's not Music Corner. It's Tech Tuesday, so...
Yeah, it's not Snooze Corner.
Greg hates music. All right, what do you have Tech Tuesday? What do you got for me?
That's not true. Since we have a limited time, this is a short one. You said you're going to fly over the Atlantic soon?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can get on one of these flights. Recently, a British Airways flight from London to Newark crossed the Atlantic in under 5 hours. It set a new record.
Yeah, and I've seen that story the last couple of days. What's the big deal?
It's fast.
It's fast. How much faster was it? 3 minutes?
It was going 800 miles per hour.
Wow. That's fast. Most planes, they fly like 515 miles per hour.
Well, it's the wind. It got the tailwind. It was pushed, but...
See, I heard... here's the thing. Once you put me in a toothpaste tube at 30,000 feet and we're already going 515 miles an hour, I'm not impressed that we speed up. It's just, that's faster than I've ever expected to be at 30,000 feet. I'm impressed already.
Didn't the Concorde get there in 2 hours?
Well, this is
a subsonic.
Fastest
yeah, but why'd they get rid of that? That'd be great. There shouldn't be a million of them.
There weren't enough rich people. Oh. This is why we only have
40 billionaires.
If we had 41 billionaires, it would still be around. The supersonic jet. And also, it just looked goofy with that weird nose. People didn't like it.
Wasn't it bad for the environment, too, the type of fuel?
Well, if you talk to a fifth grade Eric von Haessler, he gave his first speech in 4-H about how we shouldn't have a supersonic airliner because it's bad for the environment. And I went to the county finals, and I got beat by some kid with a speech about Paul Revere's ride. Hey, Paul, nobody's ever heard that before. I was Greta Thunberg before she was born.
It was too soon. Ahead of your time.
I was ahead of my time. All right, Greg Russ, thank you for a fantastic Tech Tuesday.
Thank you.
Hour 2 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. Everybody's excited. Everybody's excited. Did you know the Oscars got the lowest rating ever, right?
Yeah.
So down 6 million from last year.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. 6 million.
23.
I know you have to. I know you're a big mathematician, but you don't have to go.
I was bragging
showing off.
Wow, it's a lot.
Yeah.
23.6 million people, but I do think that a lot of people are streaming it though.
I don't think so.
They would count that.
It takes a while. Like they'll have like a 4-day, a 5-day, a 6-day. But I will say this: you said that to me, and it made sense. But then, as often with Jared, I think longer, and it doesn't make sense because it's like a sporting event. Yes, that would be true for a drama or a comedy. But we already know the results. So if you want to watch a football game and okay, I taped it, nobody tell me. But if somebody tells you the score, you're less likely to go back and actually watch it. Everyone knows what best movie of the year was, so you're less likely to go and get the streaming numbers after the fact.
So I was referring more or less to people not watching it on traditional cable and traditional.
Well, I think those numbers overnights are all put together. because you don't have to gather that. If you're using Roku, the numbers are right there. You don't have to go gather that in. I thought what you meant was waiting 4, 5, 6, 7 days.
That included too.
But those would not. I think once you know who is movie of the year, I don't think that. I think a couple of things are happening here. One is people are just tired of Hollywood. What was it? You have that Joaquin Phoenix. Who the hell wants to tune in to have some actor tell you how horrible you are for drinking milk?
We feel entitled to artificially inseminate a cow, and when she gives birth, we steal her baby, even though her cries of anguish are unmistakable. And then we take her milk that's intended for a calf, and we put it in our coffee and our cereal.
Yeah, dairy farmers.
Our cereal.
Yeah. Dairy farmers are responding that they're probably closer to nature than some actor who's probably never been to a farm in his life. It's possible.
I drove by one.
All these people, you drove by. Does it make you sad? Did it make you cry, Joaquin?
I cried at the side of the road, and we drove by thinking of all the cows and their babies.
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 People get crazy about animals. Have you ever watched one of those documentaries? They're not very nice to each other, these animals.
You think?
These animals that are so lauded, they don't even try to make it a challenge to eat other animals. They just look for the slowest and the weakest. Not exactly the most noble creatures in the world. So, I think Joaquin Phoenix just opens his eyes and just can't stand the world around him, where basically, let's face it, animals are just eating animals all over the place.
We take the eggs from the chicken and eat them. Fry up their babies. Fry their babies with bacon.
Their anguish. What do you say?
Screaming
I'm
chickens.
thinking, though, another thing might be this idea of hostless. Nobody wants to host the Oscars because you end up in the social media crosshairs, and these people haven't figured out yet that it's not real and it doesn't matter. But it might be that people used to be. It might be less enticing to just watch a bunch of actors give each other awards and tell each other how wonderful they are.
It was a variety show.
Used to be like people looked forward to Billy Crystal.
Yes.
They looked forward. Whoopi Goldberg was a good host of the Oscars. Bob Hope. Steve Martin was a decent host. So if you don't give people something to look forward to, believe me, the only reason people watch is it the Screen Actors or the Golden Globes that have Ricky Gervais?
I think he did the Globes.
Yeah. Okay. So they know that this guy's going to upset people.
But it was funny.
You don't have, but the point is, you don't really, if all I'm tuning into is to watch actors congratulate each other on being actors and then tell me why I'm wrong to drink milk and who I should be voting for, you better give me some kind of entertainer on top of that I can know is going to be maybe funny or something to host the show.
They could do an hour pre-recorded with clips and then just present the awards or name the winners. Pre-recorded, out of the way.
The whole concept you have to remember is that people would watch things.
Yeah.
More people will see a movie like Parasite or Jojo Rabbit because they heard about it. So that's the real purpose. But put on a decent show that's fun for people. Stop telling, people, you have to realize that when you so viciously go after Trump, okay, people hate Trump, I get it. But you're trying to sell movie tickets to everybody. And you're not really going after Trump, whether you realize it or not. You're going after the 63 million people who voted for him. Those are the people who buy. Trump he's president, so he doesn't buy any tickets. The movies come to him. So he wasn't going to buy a ticket anyway, no matter who the president is. And you're just pissing off the 63 million people. That's who you're really mad at. And they're not brave enough to say that. So they hide behind this hatred of one person. But what your hatred of is that the people who voted for him. But did we get an open mic? This guy, you want to talk about as silly as that could be? We have this guy who could maybe go in the other wrong direction.
Yeah, we talked about the Oscars yesterday, and he left this open mic as a response to our comments about it.
Anybody who supports Hollywood at this point in time, you are a part of the problem. I haven't watched a movie in years, and I have no intentions of anything to do with entertainment that comes out of Hollywood, ever.
You just make movies in your head?
I make movies in my own head. Action movies starring my favorite action hero of all time, Donald J. Trump.
Oh, you make movies?
In my head, like Die Hard 8 with Donald Trump.
Yippee-ki-yay, something. Look, if I don't disconnect this bomb in 3 minutes, we're all dead.
You saved the world again, Donald J. Trump.
It's just what I do. I'm like MacGyver. Look, it's an action movie set at Christmas. You know, the original Die Hard, Jared. It's a Christmas movie. Some say it is, some say it is.
Yeah, people say it's a Christmas movie.
Well, look, it has the dad from Family Matters. Okay, it's not Urkel's dad, but everybody thought it was. Yippee-ki-yay! Bill Clay.
Anybody who supports Hollywood at this point in time, you are a part of the problem. I haven't watched a movie in years, and I have no intentions of anything to do with entertainment that comes out of Hollywood, ever.
Look, there's a terrorist thing going on at the Yamamoto building. The Yamamoto building is under siege by German terrorists. You gotta send in Trump. Come out to the coast, have a few laughs.
That guy, well, he just sounds like a blast to be around.
I don't like Hollywood television shows or movies. I don't listen to or watch anything to come out of there in 25 years.
You know what you like to do? You like to point to people and say things like, you're part of the problem.
Hey, you coming out of I go to the movie theaters, and when kids come out, I just point at them and go, hey, you kids, you're part of the problem.
Well, he sounds like just a fun dude, doesn't
I
he?
don't care if it's Ice Age 2, part of the problem. Because that movie, that's all about global warming hoax and the ice caps melting and lesbianism. And that's why you're part of the problem, kids.
Sir, so if there's a movie on TV, what do you do?
I make sure that it's edited so it's in the way that I look. I don't watch any movie that came out before 1970.
I don't think that he watches anything. If it comes out of Hollywood, doesn't TV mostly comes out of Hollywood?
I watch World War II propaganda videos because they love America.
I watch those.
I like Bugs Bunny beating up Hitler.
That's right. Great films.
All right, so I think it has more to do with the host, and also just people that just had a look. I'll watch anything. I don't care. I don't. What is wrong with saying I just don't care what actors think? I just don't care. It doesn't mean I'm not going to watch the next thing or listen to the next song. I just don't care. Why would I get all wound up? I don't know what. Hey, if I'm driving down it'd be like in your neighborhood, right? You're driving in and you wave at people, right? You don't already know the guy who lives 5 houses down. You see him walking his dogs. You wave at him. I don't know how that guy votes. I don't know what he thinks.
Yeah, but
maybe
he put a Bloomberg sign in his yard already.
He's part of the problem.
I ain't talking to him.
But it's like you said yesterday with Brad Pitt, right? I mean, he had this comment to say, but you still watch his movies.
They told me I only have 45 seconds up here, which is 45 seconds more than the Senate gave John Bolton this week. I'm thinking maybe Quentin does a movie about it. In the end, the adults do the right thing.
That's right.
Yeah, I think you're calling. Right thing. I think you're calling for people being killed there. I'm not sure.
I'm just saying that
a little dangerous, Brad Pitt.
I want Quentin to make a movie at the end of this, so we just go back and we do the right thing.
Flamethrower kind of thing. Usually, the right thing is done with flamethrowing. Inglorious Bastards.
Love that.
Some scalping going on.
We can go scalp some deplorables. I'm scalping deplorables.
I don't really know that you thought this out, Brad Pitt.
You don't want to scalp deplorables with me?
No, I don't think it's a good idea.
Carve a big D in Donald Trump's head?
No, just because people disagree with you. No, I don't think that's the thing to do. I don't think that's what should be done.
Well, you know what? Maybe we should let Michael Bolton speak in front of the House.
I think all the Boltons should be able to
speak. All the
speak.
Boltons. Michael, the one... That guy. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome, man. Thank you.
But if he's in a good movie, I'm going to watch it. I don't. It's like even go away from actors. I wanted to say this last week, and it's a challenge. I know it's no Broom challenge. This one you have to think. But I don't think that people are all twisted up about Mitt Romney's vote. I would like to challenge that. I don't think you really care. I think you've been told you care. Trump won by 20 votes. It wasn't even close. But I think that people are so used to being told and amped up on both sides. Really examine it. I don't think you really care about Mitt Romney's vote. I think you've been told to care. Because I'm a professional, Jared. That's why I can go from screaming profanities to smiling for my audience in just a moment. It's called pivoting, right?
Pivoting.
Right, Clive Cliverson.
Then I'm going to eat my avocado.
That is exactly why that camera does not run 24/7 in this room, is because of what was just going on during that break.
You know what I think that we should? Because when people pay to get the unexpurgated, remember that word? Nobody uses that anymore.
I don't even know what it means.
I don't know what it means either, but I think it means that people swear. It's you get rid of the filter. I remember the first time I saw the word unexpurgated was for a VHS commercial for the unexpurgated Benny Hill. Remember Benny Hill?
I do.
And he'd go around and
this feels like a Betty's bubble.
Yeah, it doesn't. He had the old man with the bald head.
Yeah,
and then everybody would be all these visual gags that were like sexual innuendos and girls in nurse outfits with big boobs and stuff. It would not fly at all now.
No,
it would not fly at all now. But it was huge in the 70s and 80s.
Unexpurgated means complete and containing all the original material, uncensored.
Yeah. See, what we do is, after I'm dead, this is the way for me to continue to make money for my family and my estate, the Von Haessler estate. And what we'll call it Eric is canceled, but I'm already dead, so it doesn't matter. So all of this stuff, and you hear all this stuff flying around, and all these 25-year-olds who can't handle life. Was there somebody down in Macon? A story about somebody asked
the Mercer student
Joe Biden a question, and then he said, have you ever, do you have it here? I think we have the question and the answer.
Yeah, have you ever done a caucus before?
Yeah, well, first she asked the question, which is, why should we think you're going to win? And now she's saying, I felt humiliated.
So how do you explain the performance in Iowa, and why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying, dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. You're a lying, dog-faced pony soldier.
You're a ugly dog. You're a horrible woman. I hate your guts.
First of all, let me say, I feel like I've heard every put down in the book. I have never heard.
You're a lying, dog-faced pony soldier.
He was joking. She's like 21 years old or something. There's no way she's ever been to a caucus. Yesterday, the story was Joe Biden jokingly calls somebody all those words, dog-faced pony.
Dog-faced pony person.
Today, the story is the Mercer student, Macon, is now saying, I felt humiliated and alone and frightened.
No, get over, you dog-faced pony soldier. Get over.
Yeah, her name is Madison. Madison.
Yeah, Madison.
Madison, Wisconsin. I've been there.
And I'm just thinking to myself, when is this generation going to get over it? The proper response to I felt humiliated is, well, kid, things are tough all over. Why should that even be in the news cycle? Now, I read through it, and she did make a good point, which was he didn't answer the question. Okay, that's a good point. Answer the question. It was a good question. Biden even at the end said, that's a good question, not a mean question. But why would you, there was, in my day, when I was a youngster, you would be embarrassed to be in the paper saying, I felt humiliated because somebody, but now she's probably buying up 7 copies and running around the camp. Look at me, I'm a star. This is real. I feel hackneyed on the radio even saying victim culture because it's not like I made up the term. But it really is becoming so much. It's not a cool thing. It's not a cool thing. I mean, at most parties that I've ever been to in my life, you would try to get away from the person who keeps complaining and telling you why they don't like things and just complainers in general. And now, if I'm to believe the press on this generation, you would go toward that. Hey, Mary's got a new complaint. Let's get a beer and go talk to her. Wow, what are you complaining about? We used to try to outdo each other in jokes and one-liners. At a party these days, do they try to outdo each other with grievances? Oh, well, you think you got it bad. Oh, wow. My boss told a joke, and it was kind of dirty. I felt so violated. Wow. Hey, everybody come over here. Susie felt violated. She's the most happening person at the party. We used to run from these people.
You know, there's a quote from Madison.
Yeah.
I am a 21-year-old college student. Like, what the hell do I know? Who cares who I am or my experience? Just answer the damn question, Joe Biden.
That part of it I actually agree with. The part about I felt humiliated. What are you, clout chasing? And when did that ever become something to chase? I'm a complainer. Oh, wow. Most popular person at the party. Yeah, Tim, I agree, but it's one of those topics that if I'm reasonable and tell the truth, I get canceled.
I understand.
And I gotta tell you, I'm just digging out financially.
I got you.
After all this. But all I'll say is if you do it to yourself,
yeah,
psychosis. The broomstick challenge.
If a surgeon does it, liberation.
Understood.
That's what we're going with. If you do it to yourself, psychosis. The surgeon does it, liberation. All right, what are we doing here next?
We got studies, surveys, and polls, Eric.
That's my least favorite thing to ever do. Let's do it.
It's time for studies, surveys, and polls on the von Haessler Doctrine.
Wow. Everybody is excited.
Yeah. And
actually, that's not true. Listicles is my least favorite thing that we do.
Oh, even more than this?
No, I actually like studies, surveys. Well, I don't like polls.
Really?
So
What's wrong with
please,
you? It's 2020.
2017.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
That was a good year.
Are you all right?
No.
What happened in 2017? They say when psychologists will tell you that you get stuck where it happened. I don't know what happened in 2017.
That's when Trump was inaugurated, and I haven't been able to deal with it since.
All right, so we'll start with the poll since you hate them so much.
Yeah, it's good. They say rip the Band-Aid right off.
Yes.
Eat your vegetables first, right?
That's right.
I got you.
A new CNN poll has Bernie Sanders leading in New Hampshire going into today's primary.
Yeah, good.
29% saying that he's saying that they back him.
You know how many people will not be voting for Bernie Sanders in New Hampshire today?
40 billionaires.
They don't like him as much
They
as
don't even have 5 billionaires in the state.
You know who the only person close to Bernie Sanders in New Hampshire today?
Pete Buttigieg.
With 22%?
Buttigieg. Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
Pennsylvania.
Iowa.
I haven't heard that Joe one. Pennsylvania.
He's going.
Pennsylvania.
How you doing, baby? Let me give you a shoulder rub. Keystone State. Wow.
Shakira voted. She voted in Dixville Notch.
And last night and today, you had tons of rallies. You had Elizabeth Warren, Mayor Pete. You had Bernie.
Elizabeth Warren, you just get the feeling she's just wearing out her welcome. She walks into these diners and people are like, oh, let me just eat my eggs.
So, I would sure love it if you came out and voted.
No, but no one's saying anything. They're just staring at her.
She's the person. Look, she's not. Can I sit here? And I think I'm gonna get me a coffee.
But first, I'm gonna walk a mile to McDonald's because McDonald's coffee's the best.
But she said she can prevail against Trump. This is what she said yesterday during her big rally.
We can do this. This is about winning unwinnable fights.
Right.
People think that the folks with the money are always going to win. They don't know what they're up against. It's the folks with persistence who are going to win.
And money. Because I have a lot for millionaires. I don't tell you about it, though.
You're stealing Joe's words, folks.
First of all, her main competition that she's losing votes to is Bernie Sanders. He's not taking big money. I know 40 people who aren't giving any money to him.
40 billionaires.
They're not giving
Not a
money.
penny. Not a dime.
They're not giving it.
Yeah, good. They're giving it all to Pete Buttigieg.
So she's not even making any sense. She always sounds exasperated.
So we can do this.
Now, there's no talking in the library. Don't make me tell you again.
Can you imagine 4 states of the union? The State of the Union.
It's bad, folks. We still have a Republican in the House.
I've been a bad president. I've got nothing done.
We've ceded our prominence on the world stage to Ecuador,
Pennsylvania,
Iowa.
And then AOC and Bernie.
Pennsylvania.
AOC and Bernie were out having the rallies too. AOC was out warming the crowd up, and this is what she said before.
Oh yeah, AOC. You know what? Before you play this, a lot of the Bernie support, it's really they can't. AOC's too young to run for president, so it's really the people who love AOC. So she will run someday. Here's the difference. I don't care what you. I'm not talking about policies. I'm being objective about candidates. Mayor Pete knows how he wants to be perceived. You never see him losing it or going, this is how I want to be perceived, so I present myself in a very buttoned-down way. AOC, no self-awareness with this. She thinks she sounds like Che Guevara, and she sounds like Rosie. I don't know.
Are you all ready for a political revolution in New Hampshire tomorrow?
Yeah, good.
Then she went on to say,
It is not going to be any one candidate that defeats Donald Trump. It's going to be a movement of Americans that defeat Donald Trump in rejection of hatred and embracing of love.
Love. An embracing of love.
Do we want love?
Are you all ready for a political revolution in New Hampshire?
Wow, that voice.
yeah, it's hard.
Are you all ready for a political revolution in New Hampshire tomorrow?
I love it when you do that, baby. You are my hero.
We got to do more of that thing where AOC has her boyfriend. Because I was thinking about that yesterday a lot. Because sometimes I'll walk away from a show, and after I congratulate myself on another day of brilliance, then I start deconstructing the show. And I think, why does this bother me? This AOC talking with her boyfriend about what he can do as a white person about racism. And I put. Do you have it?
Yeah, I've got it right here. You can stop it.
Just play the very beginning.
Here you go.
So, Riley, what has been helpful to you in combating racism?
Okay.
I think it's helpful.
This is what it came down to for me. In reality, what she was really saying was, Riley, is that his name?
That's right. Riley Roberts.
Riley Uptalk. Riley Uptalk.
Riley. My name is Riley.
What she was really saying was, Riley, let everyone know how you're atoning for the original sin of being born white. That's what she's saying. This is the new in a secularized world. This is the new original sin. The original sin of being born white. And much like the old original sin, there's nothing you can do to change it, but you can atone for it. That's all you can do. You were born with this blotch on you, that you were born white, the original sin. And it's one of these things where we live with now where ideas that have no merit are getting so much play. I don't know if it's just an era and it will go away. But the truth is, the idea of holding someone responsible for things that other people did who have the same skin color before they were born has no merit. None. It's as ridiculous as it sounds. You need a professor in sociology to come in with a lot of blah, 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 to make, oh, no, now I see it.
Systemic.
It's systemic, and I've been sitting on top of it, and that makes it, no. The only things in this world that are your fault are the things that are your fault. That sounds simple, but it's true. Another thing that sounds simple is that you, no matter who you are, it would be like going up to, What's your last name?
Yamamoto.
Wait a minute. What about Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
900 years before you were born. Is that idiotic on its face? Yes. And it applies to the world is not easy, but sometimes it is simple to understand. The concept that anyone who's alive today that is not engaged in any hurtful behavior toward others is somehow still on the hook for things that were done by other people before they were born is just as absurd as it sounds. And I don't care how many master's degrees you have and how much, let's put some meat on these bones. No, let's not. Let's stick with the bones. Let's stick with the concepts. A very grumpy lady once said, you cannot build a good argument off a false premise. So once you identify the premise is false, it can lead to nothing. You have to let it completely go. And the idea that being born any skin color, first of all, it's anti-MLK. You should be judged by the content of your character, not the color of your skin. There was no parentheses that said except white people. It applied to everybody. It also still included the concept of judgment. It just changed why and how you judge somebody. It didn't say no one's to be judged. Content of your character, not the color of your skin. It's that simple. End of story. Party's over. Everybody go home. Sorry, folks, nothing to see here. You can't build anything that has merit or value on top of the idea that someone alive today is responsible for things that were done by people before they were born. That is an absolute absurdity. And then if you go into but you benefit from, a lot of people, Julian Lennon benefited from the fact that his dad was John Lennon.
We need to change that.
He didn't last long, but he got a hit or two out of it. That's the world. What you're really saying and identifying is that the world is unfair. And that's been true for way over 240 some odd years. If the world was unfair before America was founded, that means America's not responsible for the world being unfair. You're identifying that the world is unfair. The problem is you're getting a whole lot of college degrees to figure out who to blame. No one's to blame. The world has always been unfair.
Are you all ready for a political revolution?
See?
The Von Haessler Doctrine.
He's extremely funny, he's got a great sense of humor, and he brings a lot of good content to the air.
On 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
What is this, Spandau Ballet or something?
This is 311 doing The Cure.
311 doing The Cure.
Yes.
Wow, this is a family show. I don't want...
However far away.
I liked Spandau Ballet. I like that. What was that song? True?
So much is true.
Didn't it start with,
Yeah.
Wow.
You know this much is true.
I know people who are crazy about that band. I only know True.
I just know that song, yeah.
And then they had a follow-up called Gold or something.
That was a good song.
Yeah, those are the only ones I know. But I have friends like, Spandau Ballet's coming. Okay, but they're like freaking out.
Who are they opening for?
Yeah, so opening. They've got 17 great albums. Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
It's possible. What do you got going?
Now,
wait, you're looking at me as if you want me to do something. Or look, the music, here it is. I mean, I'd love to do whatever you want, Jared, but we got music, and it's Spandau Ballet, and I'm very excited. You ever hear Spandau Ballet?
I have, of course. Bernie Sanders took a couple of plays out of Donald Trump's playbook.
Oh, yeah?
We can't wait until the next break to hear it.
Nice tease.
What did they do?
For For heaven's sakes, and oh my goodness, is it already the third hour of the Von Haessler Doctrine on this Tuesday, February whatever it is the 10th?
Today is the 11th.
Oh, the 11th. Okay, I don't keep
New
up.
Hampshire Day.
I don't keep up with the numbers anymore.
You don't listen to Doctrine Voice Lady when she does when she gives us the date every single time?
I am so focused on what entertaining that I am going to say next for my audience that I don't even pay any attention. But I should. From now on, I should know the date. For heaven's sake.
Yeah, come on, man. Even I know.
Go, Joe Biden. You really know? You know the date?
I think so.
Where are you?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania. Big voting day today. Super Tuesday.
Iowa.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
No, that's what you are. Who's that guy?
Something's going to happen that's going to be very good. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
You know, we sometimes do this inside the brain of Joe Biden as he's walking around.
Yeah.
You know, what do you got going on, Joe?
I'm taking a look around, looking at things.
Go to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight.
If you dare.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Corn Pop was a bad dude. You know who's even badder dude? Pete Buttigieg, because he cheats.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm running for President of the United States. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other person.
Did you see that commercial I did? I put it on social media about Pete Buttigieg and how he's done a lot for a great city of
Humbling.
That one.
Humbling.
Humbling, Indiana.
Humbling.
Yes, I get it, Don. I get it. You're a bully. You're a bully. You're a bully. We.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
That's what he is. That's
How
what.
dare you?
Oh, hey, Greta. Okay.
Iowa.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying.
OJ, I don't need your help, buddy.
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
Now there's somebody's got to go.
The partisan forces of hell.
Exactly. I'm friend. Oh, there she is. Look at her. Wow. How about a hug?
40 billionaires.
Inside the mind of Joe Biden. Now Eric will find out what the date is with this.
More headlines for Tuesday, February